Most of us carry a physical first aid kit, but almost nobody has a digital survival kit. The reality is, data breaches happen all the time, passwords are reused, and identity theft is way more common than any of us care to admit. Now, the good news is, you don't have to become a security expert in order to protect yourself online. In this video, I'm going to go over 4 free tools and habits that I'd recommend you set up to protect yourself online. If you spend the next 15 minutes going through and setting these 4 things up, you'll be in a really good spot and you'll be ahead of most people already. Let's jump in.
Step number 1, we want to check if your information and your email have been exposed in any known data breaches. We're going to come to this website, Have I Been Pwned? And we're going to input our email address into this checkbar. I'll put this link to this website and other resources we use throughout this video in the description of this video for you to be able to access after. So when you get to this website, you'll put your email in, you'll hit this check button. It will then compare your email address to all the known data breaches. This is what you would love to see. This email has been a part of 0 data breaches, 0 known data breaches. This is not a 100% guarantee that your email has not been part of a data breach, but this website is pretty accurate. It has a lot of good information here, so this is a good starting point at least. So this is what you would love to see. I'm going to show you now an email that I have that I know has been part of multiple data breaches, and we'll see what that looks like. Now that that email swapped out, I'm going to go ahead and hit the check button again. And this email has been part of 11 known data breaches. This was the first time I used this tool, was with this email here, and I was absolutely shocked to see that my email had been part of so many data breaches. So you need to check this with your email. The cool thing about this tool, you can then scroll down. It will show you what data breach your information was connected to, when that data breach was, and what information the hackers likely got access to. So in March of this year, even 2026, my email was part of a data breach at Hallmark, and the compromised data included email addresses, names, phone numbers, physical addresses, and support tickets. And you can continue to scroll down this page and see all the different data breaches that your email has been a part of. Now, the important thing to remember here is just because your email shows up here, it doesn't mean you need to panic. It just means your information was included in a breach somewhere. That's actually a lot more common than people realize. And so the important thing is not panic about that. We can't control if our information is part of a data breach. So what I want to go through next with these next few steps in the video is talking about the things we can do to mitigate the risks associated with a data breach and our information being part of a data breach. So let's say you check your email and discover it was involved in a breach. The biggest mistake a lot of people make, and I've been guilty of this too, is reusing the same password over and over again. So with this next step, step number 2, the important thing is to use some sort of password manager. If you're already using Apple's Passwords app or the Google Password Manager or any other password management app or tool, that's a great place to start. If you're willing to spend a few extra minutes setting something up, Bitwarden, what you see here on my screen, is my favorite free password manager. They have paid tiers. I'm just on the free, and this is a demo account I have set up here to show you. So I really like this one, and I like the idea of a password vault because you only need to know the one password to get into your vault, and you can make that a very strong, very secure password, and then you leave it up to the vault to create really strong passwords for all your websites and your accounts. You can come in here and we'll create a new password. So I'll create a new login. Okay, so username would be whatever username I had for the website. So I just put a dummy email in there. And then the cool thing about these apps is they can generate the password. So I'll come here and I'll click this button to generate password for me. What I love about Bitwarden is you can either do a password and you can choose the length, the things you want that password to include, or if you want, you can go with a passphrase and you can choose the number of words that you want to include in that. with passwords and passphrases, just at a basic level, the longer they are and the different types of characters or symbols or things they include in them makes them a lot stronger. So we're letting the password vault do the heavy lifting of creating these passwords for us. So I'll say use this password. I'll go ahead and choose what website this is connected to. And then once we have that, we'll go ahead and save this password. Looks like we need to name it there. We'll name it Netflix. Okay, so we've now created this password for Netflix. So for step number 3, we're going to turn on two-factor authentication, or 2FA. So if you've ever used a website or an app, you put in your email, you put in your password, and then it wants to send you a text message or use an authentication app. That's what we're referring to as two-factor authentication. The big thing to note here, wherever possible, I would opt for using an app and not using SMS or text. It's a lot easier for a text message to be intercepted or hacked when you're doing two-factor authentication than it is for an app. That being said, if all you can do is the text message, or that's just the easiest and that's going to get you to actually adopt it, that's definitely more secure than just having an email and a password. But where possible, I would go with an app. This is one that I really like, 2FAS, and these are all very easy to set up. When you're creating your account for websites, it'll give you usually a QR code on the screen, and you can scan it with your two-factor authentication app. At this point, you've already made it much harder for someone to access your information. This final step, step number 4, we're actually going to learn how we can freeze our credit. This is very common practice, and it's something that the credit bureaus actually recommend. And what this does is it allows us to put a freeze on our accounts so that people cannot take out a loan or access our credit without our permission. It's very easy to set up, very easy to remove when we need to apply for a loan or do something like that. So when we land on the page, we'll go ahead and hit place a security freeze. That will bring you to this page where you'll input basic information, date of birth, social security. I've already gone through this setup here and created an account, so I'll go ahead and sign in. Okay, so when you land in this page, you'll either have a pop-up on the screen that says credit freeze, or you'll be able to see here, your credit report is not frozen, place a freeze. So I'll go ahead and click that. Tells me it's not frozen. I want to place a freeze. Just gives me some information. As a reminder, this is completely free. It's recommended. One thing to note is that each freeze you do is just for that specific credit bureau. So this is saying this is for Equifax only. If you want to freeze your other accounts, you have to go freeze the others. It is a little tedious. It's pretty quick for each one, but you do have to go through and make sure you hit all the primary and secondary credit unions in order for this to be really effective. So we'll go ahead and place a freeze, and it is now frozen. Once it's frozen, it's very easy. You can call in, or you can come back to this web page and you can hit manage a freeze. And then you have the choice to either temporarily lift a security freeze or remove it permanently. If you do it temporarily, you'll input dates. And if you do permanent, it'll just remove that freeze and you'll have to go set one up in the future. A pro tip with this: once you have all your accounts frozen, if you go to take out a loan for a vehicle purchase or a home loan or whatever you need to do, lots of times you can talk with that lender, let them know that your accounts are frozen, and they'll let you know the specific credit unions that they need access to, or that they're going to run the reports through. And then you can just go unfreeze those specific ones. You shouldn't have to unfreeze all the accounts.
Well, that's it. Hopefully that was helpful and informative. If you have any specific questions or anything you need me to explain more, feel free to throw it in the comments. Hopefully this video was helpful for you. Security and online security can be a very daunting thing to think about, but even if you just set up one or two of the things we talked about in this video today, you'll already be in a much better spot than you were before watching this video. If you found this helpful, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that helps me a lot as this is a brand new channel and I try to bring practical content like this to viewers like you. Thank you.